Have you ever wondered what the dead sound like? In a forgotten corner of Millbrook Valley, locals claim they know. Every night at exactly midnight, the silence is broken by dozens of voices coming from the home of a man who lives completely alone. But the most disturbing part isn't the voices themselves, it's that he answers them by name. In a quiet village nestled against ancient woods, there stands a decaying farmhouse that no delivery driver will approach. Its windows are boarded, its paint peeling like diseased skin. The rusty mailbox hangs crooked, untouched for decades. This is the home of Elias Granger, a man the village has feared for 30 years. Not because of what he's done, but because of who, or what, he speaks to when darkness falls. No one remembers when Elias last left his property. The older villagers say it was after the fire that took his wife, Martha. He went into that house a grieving man, says local shopkeeper Ellen Davis, but something else entirely lives there now. The villagers give the property a wide berth, crossing to the opposite side of the road when passing. Children dare each other to touch the fence but never do. Dogs refuse to walk past, pulling against their leashes with frightened whines. The conversations began shortly after the tragedy. At first, villagers assumed Elias was speaking to himself, a man broken by grief. But as the years passed, those living closest realized there was more happening behind those boarded windows. It's not just talking to himself, whispers Marion Kent, whose property backs onto Elias's land. There are multiple voices, men, women, even children, and they respond to him, they laugh, they argue, they cry. Local historian Thomas Webb has traced the voices Elias speaks to. There's Martha, of course, his wife who died in the fire. But he also speaks to his parents, both buried in our cemetery since the 1970s. Webb's voice drops to a whisper. The most heartbreaking is when he talks to Lily, his daughter who went missing when she was just 8. Search parties combed those woods for weeks. They never found a trace of her. The official report states that Lily Granger likely got lost in the dense woods and succumbed to the elements. The case was never officially closed. There were rumors, admits retired Sheriff Dale Cooper, who led the search. Some folks thought Elias had something to do with it, but there was never any evidence, just a broken man who lost everything. Cooper pauses, his weathered face troubled. Still, I've heard those voices myself. Standing at the property line one night, and I swear I heard a child laughing. Elias Granger is now in his 70s. The only glimpses villagers catch of him are through gaps in the boards, a thin figure moving behind curtains, a shadow passing by candlelight. No electricity has been connected to the property for years, yet lights still flicker inside at night. He doesn't need modern conveniences, says neighbor Frank Miller. Whatever he's got in there, it's not of this world. Miller claims to have heard Elias reading bedtime stories aloud, followed by a child's goodnight. No one has been inside the Granger house for 3 decades. The last person who tried, a teenage boy on a dare in the 1990s, refused to speak about what he saw. He and his family moved away a week later. Utility workers sent to disconnect services reported hearing footsteps upstairs when Elias was visible in the kitchen. Others claimed to see figures watching from windows that were securely boarded up. Most disturbing are the reports of children's laughter when there's only one person who should be inside. Last winter, during a severe storm that knocked out power to the village, emergency services conducted welfare checks on elderly residents. When they reached the Granger property, they found the gate unlocked for the first time in memory. Through the windows, officers reported seeing a table set for 6 people. There were multiple cups, still steaming, reported Officer Jenkins. But only Elias was there, smiling at us like he'd been expecting someone else. When asked who else lived there, Elias reportedly answered, "My family. They're just shy around strangers. The woods behind the Granger property have developed their own reputation." Hikers report cold spots, even in summer. Electronic devices malfunction. Several people claim to have seen a small girl in a white dress watching from between trees, only to vanish when approached. That's where Lily disappeared, explains Webb. And some say that's where the voices come from. Not from the house at all, but from the woods. Elias isn't speaking to ghosts, he's speaking to whatever took his daughter. And whatever it is, it's learned to mimic his family to keep him close. According to Marion Kent, the voices are loudest on the anniversary of both the fire and Lily's disappearance. It's like they're trying to break through, she says. Not just talk, but come back completely. When asked if she believes they're really his dead family, Kent shakes her head. No, whatever speaks to Elias each night may use their voices, but I don't think it's them. Not anymore. She refuses to elaborate further, but before ending our interview she adds one final, chilling detail. Sometimes when the wind is right, you can hear them say in unison, "Soon, Elias. Soon we'll all be together." Elias Granger still lives in that decaying farmhouse today. The midnight conversations continue unabated. Recently, during a particularly cold spell, elderly care services attempted another welfare check. They found the front door wide open, plates of untouched food on the table, and chairs arranged in a circle in the living room. But no sign of Elias himself. As they were leaving, one social worker heard a child's voice from upstairs whisper, "He's finally coming with us." The search continues, but villagers already know. Elias has joined his midnight visitors, wherever they may be.